Sex Party with your host, Dustin Rybka.
Hello and welcome to Sex Party. I'm your host, Dustin Rybka. With me on the show this week is OnlyFans creator, gooner leader extraordinaire, Saige Kiljoy. Saige and I have a wild, fun, fascinating conversation about all kinds of things. Let's see. Male cucks, female cucks, what she hopes to accomplish by building the largest zombie-gooner horde on Earth. Don't know what a gooner is? You're going to find out once and for all her definition of that. She is into femdom. She is into all sorts of dominant sort of sexual things. But at the same time, she is not afraid to enjoy what she's doing, show that enjoyment. She also actually talks about where she prefers the cum shot from a dominant place, right? Which is really, really fascinating. We talk about the psychology of a lot of this stuff. She's very, very smart. She also calls out somebody incredibly famous. And at the end of the episode, she is going to talk about some of her wilder experiences, some of her wilder requests, extreme requests that she has gotten on OnlyFans and online. You guys are going to love Saige. You're going to love this episode. So without further ado, please enjoy my conversation with Saige Kiljoy.
This week's conversation.
Saige Kiljoy, welcome to Sex Party. Welcome to the new studio. It's together. It's coming together. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but welcome.
You did a great job on it. It's gorgeous.
It looks eerily similar to the last one, but maybe we'll throw some little things in there as we move along.
I like the wallpaper. It's sexy.
Yeah. It feels like like an old school, like horny brothel. You have the bar, you have the chair, which could be a cuck chair for someone, all that.
Love the cuck chairs. I recently saw a hand cuck chair in a hotel, and I was really liking that one. I just thought it could use a big handcuff around it, though.
So if anyone knows anybody who's making hand chairs that have the cuff around it, I love that.
Yeah, I will buy a custom one.
Okay, so where were you where you saw a cuck chair that was a hands?
I was in Kansas. I was in Kansas recently, and I was filming with one of my friends. We just did like a couple little short things. Most of it was like pictures and stuff like that, but it was just like this basic little hand chair, and it was like the only plastic thing in the room. It was really, really weird. I don't know what was going on.
No, that is weird. Yeah. But I mean, we love a weird chair, and we love a weird cuck chair,
And we love cucks.
Yeah, I feel like cucks, they get trashed and shit on a lot, like online, but it's like, people like what they like. It's not like they have a choice. So they're not like this is the thing with sex. It's like you have been given these, from your upbringing, we don't know exactly where, and they're there, and you can either have a life and embrace them, or you can ignore or not give yourself that pleasure. And so if you're a cuck, welcome to the show.
Yeah, we love the cuck. I mean, it comes from so many. I love learning about sex. I love learning about sex habits and where it all comes from. I'm big on psychology and stuff like that. So being smart is sexy, and learning about it is all super sexy. I had a segment on my OnlyFans at one point, and it was called "We Don't Kink Shame, We Kink Ask Why," and I would explain all the different kinks and fetishes, and people loved it. I took it away, but I might bring it back. But I loved explaining what a cuck is, why they're into it, what you might like otherwise, and how that might lead you into cuckolding, or stuff like that, how it might all interact together. And there's a difference between being humiliated as a cuck and being encouraged. There's it's like a tree. It's just so many different avenues, so many different ways to go.
Yeah. Well, okay. So First of all, why'd you take that segment away? It sounds amazing.
You know what? I put it on my free page and it was too good to be on the free page. So I'm just going to bring it back. I now have 3 pages. So my regular Saige Kiljoy, where you can like chat with me. There's, you know, some lewds on there, stuff like that. You can ask for customs. Then I have my Kiljoy collection, which is basically a storefront. I feel like a lot of people really miss that. Sometimes you have customers who just don't want to talk, and that's fine. They don't want to be having it dragged on. They're trying to come and go, you know, they're trying to ejaculate and dip. So I have that. And so I might put it back on there. And then of course I have like my free page, but that's just promos with other people.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's really actually smart. You said a bunch of stuff I want to grab at. Number one, I wanted to, you know, figure out why. And, you know, the segment's coming back. I mean, what an awesome segment. I love, you know, anybody who's listened to the show for a long time or, you know, a medium amount of time or watched the show knows that for me, the psychology behind like some rough and raunchy shit is like my jam. We love that. So you're in the right place there. You know, the thing that I've seen in even on like Instagram is the rise of the female cuck. And like, that's so, because you think cuck, you think some guy, you know, crying and like what, jerking off on a chair or whatever. And so it's funny because people that I've dated or have, you know, had interactions or like fuck around time with, like in my real life, have all either walked right up to that line of role play with me, like they want to watch or they want to be whatever. And so I wonder if you can talk for a second about the female cucks and where they're all coming from. I think it's fucking great.
I think now that's a good question. I think that generally it depends on what kind of relationship you have. A lot of people consider cucks as like such a weak thing. They're like, you're getting cheated on, you're getting stepped all over. But there's that side of it where you just want to see your partner be gorgeous, like whether it be male or female, you just want to see them in like their most primal, sexy state. You're watching them, you're watching the way they arch in ways you haven't seen before because you a couple angles and it's directly what you get to see. And of course they're seeing your double chin as you're going at it and stuff. But you know, you get to see them from a different point of view and it can come from a place of like just worship, you know, and that can be super sexy as well. But when it comes to female cucks, honestly, I think it's because there's a little bit of a rise of the housewife again and like trad wife sort of deal. That's where I personally think it's coming from. So I feel like them being put in a place of more submission and the man being like, you know, this is what's going to happen sort of deal. Of course, it varies from relationship to relationship, but that's what I think.
Yeah. Well, there's also a thing where it's like, there's cock holding and then there's like compersion, which we had a lot of people on the show talk about compersion, which is the desire to watch your partner just feel pleasure and be overwhelmed and in this fucking thing. And I think that's very interesting because I think a lot of people, if they don't know better, male, female, I don't think, however, they think, oh, I'm a cuck. This means I suck, but I'm jerking off to or whatever it is. But in actuality, you know, there's a difference between wanting to see your girlfriend or wife like get gangbanged or join in a gangbang and also then sitting in a chair and not touching it. There's a there's a fine line, but yet a big difference, I think. Yeah.
It's a lot of customers come to me and they think that they're a cuck when really they're just into hot wife. Like it's two different avenues with it. So that's why when I have someone first come to me and they're like, hey, I'm new to this. I get a lot of people, a lot of newbies, which I really appreciate because then I can lead them into the right direction gently if they've earned that and I can show them, you know, this is where you want to go. But yeah, absolutely. Cucking can get so humiliating, especially if you're not even being allowed to watch in the first place. Like you could be one of my favorite things that you can do with cuck is just have them underneath the bed so they can just, they don't even get to see. All they get is to like feel the mattress. They get to hear things, nothing else at all. Like that complete denial. And people forget that denial can be a gift in itself. you know?
Yeah, that's wild. That's
Yeah.
super wild. Okay, so before we even get any farther, right? Let's say people should know who you are, but let's say they don't, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe they haven't tuned into Instagram in a while. They haven't discovered who you are yet, right? They had a fishing accident. I don't know, right? They just have no idea what's going on. Right. Yeah. They fell overboard actually, and they've had whatever. But now they're back, they're here, they're ready to roll.
Yeah.
Could you talk a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Saige Kiljoy, formerly Saige Cherie. I changed the name a little while ago. I'm multi-award nominated. I have been on and off doing sex work since 2018, but I jumped full in about 3-4 years ago, and it immediately took off. The next day, was able to quit my lame ass 9-to-5 and be my own boss. I don't listen to my boss apparently still, even though I'm in charge of myself. That's the hardest thing. Y'all need to be a good boss to yourself. I started off with camming. I really enjoyed it. I stepped away from it after I had breast implants gone wrong, and they messed me up so bad. But also, sites were glitching at the same time. So I think it was a good time to alternate what I was doing and really sit and think about what kind of impact do I want to make in this industry, and how do I want to make myself happy at the same time, because burnout is a bitch and we do not love her. So I finally went into, more the Sex Panther OnlyFans avenue. I wasn't really big on OnlyFans until recently. And as soon as I jumped in, I got to top like 2.8%, which was really cool. It was really exciting for me to be able to get that far into it. And of course there's fluctuations and everything, but my main favorites are gooning, femdom. I love SPHCEI. I love making tasks for people. It's Locktober right now, so I have a couple people signed up for my Locktober challenge, and they're struggling. My goal is to make them fail, because I want to own their failure completely, and they're not doing well. They're not old enough. Only like 336 hours left in the month, so.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, only locked up for a little bit longer.
What an introduction. I feel like that's a sex party round of applause. We love that. Yeah, maybe my editor could put a fucking round of applause on.
I would love that. Little people bowing at the bottom.
We'll get you something. Yeah, for sure. SPHCI, can you explain?
Yeah, SPH is small penis humiliation. CEI is cum eating instructions. There's also sissification. There's gooning, there's cuckolding, of course, like we talked about. There are so many different things. I have, my stuff for giantess as well, my little miniatures for it. I love kinks and fetish. I feel like it's been more talked about. That stuff has been more normalized lately. And I really, really do appreciate the fact that people, and women too, like we were talking about before, have been able to be more open and like expressive with themselves. It's been definitely a bit more pushed out, sex work in general, on the internet since OnlyFans blew up. And some people can find that to be a little bit disturbing and, bringing women back sort of thing. But I also feel like it's so empowering in so many ways. And I just think it's so neat that people have been able to explore themselves, especially gooning lately. All the gooning TikToks that have been going crazy, I get people coming to me and they're like, teach me. And I'm like, you're fucked. I'm going to ruin you in the best way. I love it.
Okay. All right. So first of all, once and for all, I've been doing this podcast. It'll be 4 years in February, which is an eternity in podcast time. That's like 100 years in normal human Earth time. Which, I can't believe it. I blinked twice, and here I am in my third studio, about to be in my 5th season of this fucking thing, which is amazing, right? And so I hear the term gooning all the time. Yeah. They hear the term gooning all the time. I'm also a millennial, so whatever. Whatever for people who maybe there's a fucking Gen Z out there who doesn't know what gooning is. I doubt it.
People don't know what it is.
Yeah. So could you? And I find also too on this show that I love getting people's own personal, intimate definitions of terms, because I think it tells a lot about the person and how they relate to the work that they do. So once and for all, can you explain what gooning is?
Yes. So there is a difference between edging and gooning. I'm sick of that narrative being like edging and gooning are the same thing. They are not the same thing. Edging is something that you can just like quickly do. You can do it just as soon as you get home, da 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 da. Gooning is a lifestyle. In my personal opinion, gooning is a lifestyle. You are gooning as much as you possibly can. And for me, with my subs, my goal is to make them reach like goon nirvana. I want them full gooner mode. It's more of the action of actively growing more dumb as well. You want to be so focused on pleasure that you aren't thinking about anything else. Like, I want you to forget your own name. I want you to forget where you're at. I want you to be, melting into your chair, eyes rolling to the back of your head, drooling. Edging is just really... Gooning is just a submersive experience, watching and consuming as much as possible and just feeling that pleasure, not wanting it to end. Because as soon as it ends, you're not gooning anymore.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if they're gooning, are they coming or no?
Well, it depends on like what the goal is there. Some people, if you're someone who can like finish and immediately like get back into it, you can continue your gooning session. So there's gooning sessions as well as like, making it an active lifestyle, peeping at videos and pictures whenever you're at work, sneaking away for it sort of deal. But I would say it doesn't really matter as long as it's the mindset that matters more. Like, are you actively, you don't even need to be stroking to be gooning, in my personal opinion. It's just that fact of consuming as much as possible and just letting it take over your brain, losing brain cells, growing dumb for me, obviously, because that's what you want to do. That's the goal.
So you want to turn them into like little goon zombies.
Yeah,
basically.
Little goon zombies. Exactly. My little goon zombies.
Yeah. You want a horde of gooner zombies that are just...
Yeah, I could just take over the world. One of the main things that I usually bring up when it comes to, because I do voice notes are one of my biggest things that I do. People really like my voice notes. And one of the scenarios that I like to bring up is Goon World. And basically what that is kind of like in WALL-E, where they're all on that spaceship and there's nothing they can do. Like, they can't like walk for themselves. Now this sounds a little bit intense, but it's just a little fantasy. The screens are full of like ass and titties, lube is everywhere. They don't even have to move. All they need to do. People really like that specific fantasy, that or me locking them in a goon cave, which I also love the goon caves.
Yeah. Well, okay. So this is great. This is fucking awesome. Because, I think the fucking term gets tossed around so fucking much, and then like doesn't, I don't know. There's just different definitions, which is why obviously I asked and what yours was, and which is amazing. And I think, that's like a power thing. That's like something that you want to build an army of
a little cult.
Your little call of gooner hordes that are just fucking they do anything you say. But there is also too like this entire psychological component to it, right? And you seem to have found that. And so does all of this then turn you on? Are you getting excited? Are you like sexually charged by all of it?
I definitely get my rocks off with so many different of the things that I do. I do not do anything I don't want to do. That's like an absolute no for me. That's one of the ways to like immediately crash and burn in the industry is like given to things you don't do. I don't do submission. If anything, I do mutual at most, but like I don't do degrading things towards myself. But gooning, I love. I think it's so sexy, as well as cuckolding. Anywhere where I have power and where I can show off, I love. I have a praise kink, but not in the sense of like, good girl, that makes me cringe, but more in the sense of like, I am amazing. Tell me I'm amazing 24/7. Like, you should have, I have people who've made shrines for me. I have people who have my name engraved into their cages, into shot glasses for cum eating instructions. I have some pretty devoted people. I've made my damage.
No, it sounds like it. It sounds like, it sounds like you've definitely had an impact. So if someone like, I don't know, if you, I can't think of a scenario, but if you're like in a public place, like you go into a, I I don't know, a fucking car dealership, right? And you washed your car and the guy's like, hey, you did a really nice job on this. Nice job. Does that turn you on?
I would be like, oh yes, tell me I'm so great at like doing like anything. Or when people eat my food and I make homemade food and they just like love it, that it makes my heart full. But I really like it in the sense of gooning, because if we get, so I have some gooners that can go hours, and that can take a lot out of not just them, but also out of me. I think people forget that, like, stroking for hours, that shit's tough. Like, we all know, but also for me at the same time, like, that is hard. I have to think of new things to say. I cater to each and every person individually. Like, everything that I make is like, I make my own scripts. I do everything on my own. Everything is my own sexting, my own voice notes. And if I don't have something, it's going to be a custom. So it takes a lot of me, especially if someone books like 3, 4, 5 hours of gooning, or they're, taking breaks and coming back throughout the day. It can be a lot, but it does become like, I almost get into gooner mode. That was one of when I was first figuring out like things sexually, like on Tumblr. Okay. We're going back to Tumblr days. We love Tumblr.
Yeah.
I miss her. But when I first like found porn, I was like a gooner. And that's why I feel like I'm so good at it now, is because I would watch those GIFs of just like sex, and I would just watch it over and over. And I would be like, this is the shit. Like this is it. But when me and the gooners are having our fun and it's really getting into it, I'm absolutely going to bring out my Hitachi, and I'm getting it too, because your girl's going to get horny.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah. And like, so do they get to watch you do that, or is that like a thing that you're doing?
It depends. Some people get full denial. I have my pixel pumpers. So I have a specific folder on, my OnlyFans and in my phone where I have content that's exactly the same as the other content that I have, but it's pixelated. So they don't get to see anything. They just get to pump to the little squares on the screen. So, I've also made it into a way on it depends on what app I'm using to do the call on, but I've made it so I can pixelate my video calls with them as well. And so that it's like, they don't get to see anything.
This is fucking goon innovation right here. You are a goon innovator. This is fucking
the gooner queen.
That is fucking insane. Like the little psychological things, like the pixelated stuff, the voice note thing we're gonna come back to, because I think that's a fucking pro move on every level. The fact that you are like masturbating and getting off to it, whatever, like, and you're open to talk about it and admit it and all these things. This is goon innovation, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I love these little. I wouldn't call them tricks. I'd call them, I would call them like, for lack of a better fucking word, I would call them innovations. They're little things that you do that are just that much more teasing. I mean, even just to think about, hey, I'm gonna pixelate this while I like fucking jerk myself off or whatever, that that's huge. That's fucking.
There's so many people. I feel like, of course, like gooners, there's different types of gooners as well. There's some that will just like goon out to girls dancing on TikTok, sort of thing. And, I don't really get those guys as much. I get the ones that are more into like the ownership, or like going deeper. Like I want them to go deep down that rabbit hole of submission, or, full gooner mode. And I have tasks for them. There's so many different things that you can do. I take it slow, because a lot of people, they're like, oh, do whatever you want to me. And then they won't do it. I'm like, we're not playing that way. We're not playing that game, because then you're going to piss me off, but I have, I've gone so far with the content that I've created, more than I've dreamed. And I have so many more ideas. So I'm really excited for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a good time to ask before we circle back to some of the stuff that you talked about. Are you exclusively like femdom dominant stuff, or do you switch around? Or
so I do femdom, I do fetish and kink, and of course I do the gooning, and I do mutual, but I don't do sub. So that's the only thing. But mutual, I really love to, like, again, I love showing off. People love my ass. Shout out my ass. They really like it. That's the star of the show. And they always come back for more. Everyone loves a big, juicy Peruvian booty. So they're all happy to see it. And I'm a queen at twerking. I love twerking. They love the clapping. I can go for a long time. I am, a chronic illness baddie. So, my hips kind of swivel back and forth. They pop out, but I will get right back to it.
That's great though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you can just throw that shit in a circle, then
Yeah.
what? I mean,
And
yeah, what chronic illness?
back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everyone loves that. You know, everyone loves a fucking fat ass for sure, no matter what.
Yeah.
And
If
I
you
think
don't, I'm concerned. I'm concerned. So we're doing
yeah,
good.
yeah. Okay, so mutual, which is just kind of like it's equal, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not spitting in your, like say, oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
spit in your face and slap you around and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's interesting because I think some people are very no, I'm just gonna do the dom stuff. Some people are like, I'm a switch, and then other people are kind of like, I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever kind of floats the boat. I've talked to many people on the show and also just like in life or at the conventions that are dominant but or are a switch, but it doesn't their definition is different. So to match someone's energy like that and do a mutual thing, does that require you to then sort of power down into a different kind of zone? Or
Yeah, I mean, well, that's part of what you were saying. That's part of why I stopped saying switch, because people just automatically assume like full sub. And I'm like, I will yell at you and I will charge you to be mean to me. Like, it's a lot to be, if you really want to talk shit, you got to be charged like a lot for that. And even then it's like, no one's going to be able to afford it. So it's not going to happen. But
oh my God.
For me, it's not hard. I mean, in my day-to-day life, fucking and stuff like that, it's more mutual. I've cucked an ex in the past as well as other things. But, most of the time I'm doing mutual, like I'm just regular schmegular fucking. I think it's a fun time to do everything else. But, for me, when it comes to just the basic stuff, I'm chilling with, because I'm so constantly making that other content. So it's nice to have something more, relaxing, back to the basics sort of deal. But it's not hard for me to switch back and forth. I mean, I ooze sexuality. It's my job. I better be good at it.
No, that's great. That's great. I love that. I love that. Yeah. So, okay, then, I mean, that's interesting too, because, people talk shit about vanilla sex a lot and they want to, because that's all that they have. But for you, you're gooning out and fucking, it's gooner mode all day and fucking, do what I say and da 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 da. And then you can go and have some laid back vanilla sex and it feels probably pretty good because you don't have to channel so much energy and be in complete control all the time, which people don't realize. It does take a lot of fucking energy.
Yeah, well, that's like the majority of my customers. When it comes to me being in that femdom mode, the majority of them are men who are in control all day long and they're exhausted. They don't want to be telling everyone what to do all the time. And, I've had some pretty decent men in, I guess, power, you could say. I used to do in person, and that was like my main client at the time. Was usually it's white men, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, who are just in charge. They have a company. Oh, everyone's always like fucking up and they have to correct things and fix things. They have to be an asshole. They want to be a little bitch, and it's okay. That's fine. I'll be here for them to support them with that,
Yeah. Well, so how long did you do in person for?
Very short amount of time. I value my safety more than anything else. I won't do anything for all the money in the world. There's so many big things I've turned down for so much money that was very clearly not a scam. And I'm just like, you know what? No, I don't want to do that, because I can do whatever I want. There's always a customer. There's always something else to do. But in person, I only did like a year, and I thought about bringing it back, but we are in a recession and times are tough. So, I'm still considering it. I used to have a bodyguard, and if I were to do it again, I would absolutely have a bodyguard again. Because it's just, people are very, people have gotten more comfortable with being anonymous online, and I feel like it's gotten a lot more intense in person too. I've had a couple of people recognize me in public, and most of the time it's fine. They're like, where do I know you from? I'm like, stop talking, your girlfriend's right there. Stop talking, you don't know me from anywhere. I'm trying to save you. But I've had, one or two incidents where it's like, okay, we need to like cut this shit immediately, because I'm definitely someone who's right off the bat, as soon as a customer starts talking to me in a parasocial, I love you way, I'm so quick to it. I don't care if I lose a customer. You are going to know the boundaries, and you're going to know that if you cross them, I'm going to go a step further and you're going to get got because it's my safety, you know, and it gets very personable because I do custom make everything. I have notes on every single customer. So it gets very personal, and, you know, it's sex at the end of the day. There's like a release of all those chemicals in your brain. You're going to get a tad bit attached depending on who you are, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Well, unless you're a sociopath and you can, you could detach, which, I mean, you know, there's some shout out to the sociopaths, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've always thought, like, for me in my, you know, like, I used to fucking do nightclub shit. And so I had sex with like a lot of people, and it was I never got attached to anybody. And it was, you know, you'd have every once in a while, you'd have somebody like, oh shit, what's happening here? And then even that, I seem to have some sort of like way to control it or whatever. And so that's kind of weird. But everyone's
so different with it. Like for me, I can't have sex unless I know the person for a long time. I've never had a one night stand in my life. But yeah, it's all so different. I think the thing is, you know, I check on I'm not going to talk too much without, you know, consistent pay, because there's so many fucking people, and I am the product. I'm one girl. I can only do so much, and I've customs to make, you know, I'm busy, but, you know, I'll ask, you know, how's things with your company? How's your broken foot doing? Things like that. And a lot of customers I get, they are people who have a lot on their plate, and they're not talking to their friends and family and asking for help with things. They aren't communicating their feelings. They only feel comfortable with me, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. You know, again, I've done, I feel like a lot of almost therapy. Again, I'm not licensed or anything, but I even get couples who will, you know, do calls with me, and I'm in the middle, and I'm, you know, helping and stuff like that, trying to figure out, you know, where are we lacking communication, because that's so important. And I feel like me being an over communicator, people aren't used to that, so they attach to it. And I feel like that's where it can be difficult for me and them.
Yeah, I mean, I think if someone's good at their job and they're enjoying it, like you are, whether it's Hitachi or it's how's your fucking broken foot, either way, that's your personality. You're being, you care about that. You're coming to that. You're concerning about that or whatever. And so that's something that takes a lot of fucking energy, but it also puts a finer point on your work, because it's like you're getting not only what you pay for, but probably more than that.
Yeah. You know? So I gotta be careful where I put it. And it's very minimal now, especially because, you know, on cam, it was easier because you could just, you know, do your call and then chat a little bit and be like, hey, I'm gonna kick you out of the room now if you're talking too much. But now it's a little bit different because I'm on OnlyFans and Sex Panther, where it's, you know, they have access to text whenever. I do like Sex Panther because I can put unavailable whenever I want to. On OnlyFans, you can't do that. So I want to be able to put that and just be like, hey, have some space a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, you need sort of a separation, I think, you know. Are they coming at you on Instagram and shit or what? Like, I feel like are they mostly respectful?
I feel like coming at me in a sense of like I'm being attacked like online, or
like if you open up that special folder that's like hidden requests, which I love to open at least once every couple days. It's mainly like, I hate you, I'm gonna off you, like kind of stuff that I get as a podcaster. But yippee. But like for you, is it just a bunch of dudes like, hey, you're hot, hi, boobs, like whatever? Like, is it like respectful, or is it more like just trash?
It's a mix for sure. There's always that occasional girl too who's like, I'm gonna kill you if you don't stop talking to my boyfriend. I'm like, God, you're on a leash. I don't know what to tell you. Like, get him. You know, like,
what have you like? What's that? So you've had that happen? Like, you had a woman say, stop taking my boyfriend's money, stop talking to my boyfriend.
Yes,
And then what do you say back?
Well, I mean, I do femdom as well as, gooning can get really expensive, especially if you're doing long calls with me. And,
Yeah.
they will spend. And sometimes with gooning, I'm careful to be like, hey, I've even gotten to the point where I'm like, set aside money for me each month. So you know what you're doing. So you're not fucking yourself up, because that's easy to do as well. But I've had girls come into my thing and be like, we just got engaged, you're ruining this. And I'm like, I have no idea who you are. This is none of my business. I don't even respond. And, even to the men who are sending me death threats, because that's a million. I have a whole story actually about that. But, I have a fuck ton. I'm not going to respond to you, because why am I going to humiliate you for free? That's like literally doing my job for free. And that's one thing I try to tell other girls too, is they respond in the comments. They're like, oh, you're a little dick man. And I'm like, that's exactly what he wants. You're giving him exactly what he wants. And it's just, I really would love for women to just stop responding to men in the comments who are saying stuff like that altogether. Like, I don't care if it's sex worker or not. Stop responding to them. You are getting them off. I don't care. That's my hot take.
No, I think that's again like another sort of innovative way of thinking about it, because that maybe they are just doing that because they want you to talk shit to them, and it's like a cheap, fast kind of like
it's easy. There's this guy on Twitter, I forget his username, and I'm not going to give it either way because that would just give him, the exposure he wants.
Yeah.
But he constantly deletes and remakes his account, and he goes on femdom accounts and is like, calls them, fat, da 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 da, and they all post showed every once in a while, but he has this picture specifically up that's like hard to find, and they all find it and post it everywhere. And I'm like, this is your jobs, ladies.
Yeah.
These are your jobs, and you're actively spreading his picture around. So I've stopped at this point, because it was like a year ago where I stopped texting girls and being like, listen, shut the fuck up. You're doing like everything for free. But that's all they want, and that he's getting it off for free. And he can absolutely get free stuff on Pornhub, but these girls get angry so fast, and they're not thinking. And I have my moments too, but I'd rather respond to an angry woman than a man in there.
Yeah.
That's obvious. I hate you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, do you then like come to an understanding with the woman where she's like, oh, I didn't know that, sorry? Or is it mainly just like harassment and like terrible till the bitter, or what?
Yeah, I think the way I used to be a little bit more intense with things, I used to be in anger management, so I've come a very long way. We're so zen now. No, we're working on it. But I used to be in anger management, so like I know all the steps to take, and I'm working on my spirituality and like calming down. But the way I go about it now versus what I used to is so much better for both parties, because I go about it in a very hey, I right off the bat, I'm like, I don't want to fight with you. Here's what I mean in the simplest term, because I'm also autistic and ADHD. So, I will over-explain to the ends of the world. I will over-explain, especially to women, because, I also have mommy issues. So I don't want women to be mad at me. We love women. But, I right off the bat, I'm like, I really don't want to fight. Here's what I mean, X, Y, and Z. Like, please tell me if you have any questions. And then they're like, oh, I can't be mad at her. She's like so meek and submissive, but only to the women.
Oh, wait a minute though. So is there a place in your content or in your life where you could get dommed out by another woman?
Oh my gosh. I would say not really. I'm bisexual and I do love girls, but I still love power so much. I'm kind of just like a power freak. I am more like generally submissive, leaning towards women, especially just talking day to day. Like I respect them more sounds bad, but again, I deal with death threats on the daily. So it's coming from men. I've never had a death threat from a woman like that deep. But it's more of they're just so much more gentle. So it's easier for me to be like, oh, swoon, oh, boobs, love boobs, and stuff like that. But I would like to get into more girl eventually, but I really mostly just love double doming, doing more JOI stuff, role plays. I love my little scripts that I make, but maybe along the way I'll do some girl and experiment. It's never too late to go back and forth on what someone says too. Like I change my mind all the time, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, and I think that's clear in this episode thus far. So okay, so your content, is there any girl, boy content out there or no, not at all?
Yeah, so I have mostly boy girl. The girl that I have right now, one of them is like a super old cam recording, so I don't even really sell that anymore. And besides that, I have pictures. We take pictures together and they're more like lewds. I am planning on doing more, but I haven't been traveling a lot recently. But I definitely do have boy girl. I have cuck roleplay boy girl, I have vanilla boy girl, and then I have my pixelated boy girl as well, which people love those. They love being denied being able to see anything. It's all squares.
Yeah. So they can find they can find like there's boy girl video out there. There's girl
on my
video
storefront. Kind of. They can see it on pretty much all my storefronts. They can see, or they can just ask me for it nicely.
yeah. Be nice, guys. Yeah.
Be nice.
Be nice and give her money. So is that boy girl? Is that like a mutual kind of a deal, or is it you like just doming the shit out of someone?
Yeah. People would really like to see that, but the current filming partner that I have, it's more just mutual. You know, it's a nice, big, thick toy man sort of deal. Toy that I have going on. And people really like to see it. They really think of him more as a bull, even though he doesn't talk. I have created content where, you know, I'm fucking him or like sucking him off and talking to the camera at the same time, being like, oh, maybe it might be like small dicked X that I'm talking to. Or maybe it's like, I know that you've been watching cuck porn behind my back, so here I brought in da-da-da-da-da. And people really like those. I'm planning on making more of those soon as well. But again, it's kind of hard to like get schedules down for fucking.
So this is a real person though, not like a life realistic doll.
He just looks like a man toy.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you never know. And I mean, we respect both, but
I don't love toys as much. Like when it comes to, I love riding, but I don't like riding on a toy. I can ride for like ever though, when it comes to like an actual person. And that's mostly what I do and people love it. So
yeah. And I think that, I mean, the thing is you, especially with your 3 different accounts, you know, whatever, it seems like you're very upfront, because I do think, and it goes to a bit of what you said about when you were doing in person and you had like a bodyguard or whatever, there are these elements to sex work, whether it's purchasing on OnlyFans or meeting someone in a hotel room, where the sex worker is always in danger, always, you know, trying to get the bag and all these things. And we want sex workers to be safe. We want them to be respected and we want them to get the bag, right? But on the flip side, there are so many creators, and I'm not going to name names, but I'm sure you know some bigger ones, who say things like, do you want to watch me get DP'd, right? It's fucking $75 or whatever. And you pay the $75 and it's 17 seconds of them with 2 toys, right? And it's like, and, or it's like you ask for something specific and they are like, yes, but no, but here, buy this. And so you buy it and it's nothing and so I think, and also too, because of all the fucking, you know, in-person sex work, there's an element to someone being like, oh, I'm going to get fucking robbed if I give this person. So I think more people would buy from OnlyFans creators and also probably do in person if there was some sort of, and again, like obviously regulation would be nice, but you shouldn't be able to say, yeah, it's a fucking it's me and 4 dudes and I'm fucking doing this or whatever. And you grab it and it's fucking, you buy it for
scammy.
Yeah, it's like 4 dildos.
Yeah.
You know, or
I hate so much. I hate how it's like gotten to that point. And you know, there's a lot of big names who had a large following and then had OnlyFans, and then they have the chatters, and then these chatters are just selling whatever's, you know, and they'll even market things. And I'll be honest, I tried chatters at one point.
Wait, what is a chatter? Like someone talking for you?
Yes, someone talking for you. My content's made, and but again, I'm one girl. I am the product. It can be hard to like stretch in so many different places. I'm on so many different platforms. So at one point I was like, let me try. And the way it went so south, and the way that I'm so protective over like my content and the way that my customers are speak to, I was like, this is not it. Like, and I was upfront with my customers. I was like, listen, I tried something out. And they were so respectful, and they were so sweet and so understanding. They were like, yeah, like it sounded like you, but at the same time, I didn't get like the full experience. And so it's so disappointing. But, at that point in time, I was doing so much. And I think at this point, it's better for me to be available less time of the day. And you get me when you get me. And I have my storefront and that's what I like about my storefront. I've created it, and I hope other girls do this too. I've created it to where there's a preview, so you can make sure that you haven't already bought the video. So preview. Yeah. And then I have hashtags. So I let you know if it's censored or nude. I let you know what kind, if it's toy or a person. I let you know if it's going to be dirty talk, if you're going to be denied at the end. Everything on there is tagged. Like, it's so, you cannot fuck it up. And so I don't want to see anyone with chargebacks, because everything's perfect too. That was my other thing, is I didn't want to see chargebacks, which, knock on wood, I haven't had any yet. Yeah. But, everything is so, it's your one-stop stroke shop. That's what it is. It's perfect. You don't need to talk to me. You don't need to go back and forth and be like, I need this, and then wait 4 hours for me to respond. I'm asleep. I gotta sleep. Here's my content. Get to it. Goon to it. It is all there, ready for you. So I think more girls should do that. It's kind of like, similar to I Want Clips, but it's on OnlyFans. So, more reach to more people. But that scammy bullshit is just, it makes sex workers already have such difficulties. We don't need to be made to look worse. Like, God, and at the end of the day, like, I might seem like I don't respect men, but I do. I love men. I love good men. And at the end of the day, you're spending your money for an experience. Everyone deserves sexual release. Every single person deserves sexual release. Now, it should be done properly. Like, don't be a fucking freak. But, everyone deserves to feel good. And I'm not going to feel good if I waste my money, and that's going to turn me off. And then that sucks. And I don't ever want to give someone that experience. So it's really disappointing to see people do that, especially celebrities getting away with it back and forth. It's so annoying.
Well, first of all, the celebrity thing is fucking crazy, right? And then you have some people who are like, I don't know, we'll call them Instagram famous, who do stuff, whatever, and they're not upfront about. They make you believe that this is going to be a thing. And obviously I always point to like Bella Thorne, right? She's like, oh, you want to see my fucking tits and my pussy or whatever. And then you get like a hand tit pic, and it's like, wait a minute, what about the 2750?
Yeah, that's been happening on the campsite I was on as well. I don't know if you can bleep names. But,
sure, if you want.
But I mean, I'm fine with saying it, because
no, go for it.
Sucks. But I was streaming on Streamate, and, I'd like to consider myself that I was top model. I wasn't like the top 1%, but I was like a notch underneath that. I was consistent. I was making really good money. But in came the Twitch streamers, dun, 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 and they brought in a very specific crowd of people who, first of all, like, weren't used to spending, and second of all, a lot of them were very incel-y. But the third thing that was like my main issue, Amaranth. Oh my God. Amaranth. When I get to Amaranth, no, I don't want to fight. But he literally was promising people, because there's gold shows, and you tip to get into the gold shows, and you are expecting to see something specific. She was like, yeah, I'm going to do this and this and this. They went in, they spent all this money, because of course she's going to upcharge up the ass, which understandable. I'm totally fine with that. Same stream, all the guys were like, oh, you should get a Lush, which is a remote control toy that you can tip and it activates, and, a little moan, a little giggle, whatever. She had the audacity to say, no, I'm not getting that. All the other girls on here are faking it. So you're going to come onto my campsite, our campsite collectively. I don't know it. I really don't stream anymore for these reasons, but you're going to come onto this campsite, and then first off, make the website crash and, scam these men. And then you're going to shit on all the girls who this is their livelihood. They're feeding their children. They're escaping bad situations, and you're going to shit on them. I I'm not for it. I'm not for it. But that's the strong sense of justice type of autism that I've got. Maybe I'm just too good of a person.
Well, I mean, no, I think you're correct. There's a lot of people that are getting scammed, right? There's a lot of people who are, and that's money that could go to you or to someone else or to someone who's actually providing the services that they claim. You know, the first thing and I say this fucking every other episode a million times, they're sick of hearing it, but you know, I don't go into OnlyFans that often, but when I do, I will spend some fucking money, right? And it's just about the trust. And what would be nice is, and I used to ask this back in the day, is like, yeah, where's the menu? And they'd be like, menu? I'd be like, yeah, show me what's available, right? And like you said, it's very, very, even if you blur shit out, you want to show a fucking either a 2-second video or at least like a fucking screen grab, so you know, one, it's real, and two, that you're not purchasing or whatever. And that would be so much more. I feel like people would spend so much more. It's kind of like going into a restaurant and being like,
some girls would hate that you say that. Actually, that's so funny, because some girls are like, this isn't a fucking restaurant. Like, I've seen that response so many times. But at the same time, one of the things that I do is kind of like a middle ground. One of the first things when a customer subscribes, I'm immediately like, what are you into? Tell me about yourself. Like, let me make sure we're a good fit, because I'm not trying to force this in any way. And if you're, you know, like, if you just want to be subbed and look at the lewds, that's fine. If you just want to be on the free pages and wait for something that you're going to like, that's fine. But if we're going to be chatting back and forth, I want to make sure that, you know, I'm able to give you the content that you're wanting. And then if they know, they know. And if they don't, they don't. And some people are just like, ass. And I'm like, got it. You know, like very, very simple. Some people are like, I just like you. And I'm like, no, you got to give me more than that. You know, that's one thing. If there's any men listening to this, don't say you just like me. Give me the core. Give me the details. But, you know, I like to ask, you know, what are you into? And then maybe I'll send a voice note after. Voice notes save me time with texting. I'm not too much of a fan of texting generally, but, you know, I'll do it. But voice note, I can send something like, I'm into this. It's also in my automated message. You know, I have a video at the top that says, my name is this, I'm into this. So that also saves a ton of time. But, you know, I'll tell them, hey, I have this, I have this, I have this. And you can ask me for custom. I would love to make it for you. And it's that easy. You know, it's that simple. But for me, menus can be a little hard because there's add-ons when it comes to customs and stuff like that for video calls. And it's ever changed. You know, one day I'm like, I might not be super into wanting to change my hair. So I'm going to upcharge a little bit for that. If you want me to change my hairstyle, you washed and dried it. I don't want to throw it into like full blown, you know, braids. But, you know, I still think there's ways that you can go about it to make it easier for both sides, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and we're getting close to the end of the episode. I want to make sure I get all of this stuff in. So like, you know, there's a couple questions I've been hanging on to, and I think that you seem incredibly organized when it comes to all of it, not only from like a logistical standpoint, but from a psychological standpoint, a business standpoint, like all kind of mixed. I think that is really, really profound. And again, it goes back to your fucking gooner innovation. One, the voice note thing, what a hack. I've said this before, but in any situation in life, I think sending a voice note to someone on Instagram, to someone on a dating app, like what a hack that is. Fuck. Like, do they actually hear your voice? Like, first of all, I'm real. And second of all, if they like your voice, you're
gotta
good
do
to
a little
go, right?
sultry with it, you know, lean back. But really, I'm just like eating Doritos and I'm like in sweat. They love it still. They would love me in any format.
Totally. And it works for everyone. And I think, you know, knowing what you want, gooner or not, knowing what you want is confidence. And a voice note is confidence. It's saying, this is who I am. I'm not afraid to whatever. So I think if you're listening, guys, send voice notes to everyone. Not fucking horrid shit. I'm just saying voice notes are an upgrade. That's all I'm saying. You know, whatever. The other part that I was thinking about, because I have a big question to ask you, it's going to be a lot of fun. But so if you're sort of in this dominant mindset normally, and then you do the boy girl stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's more of a matched sort of equal playing field.
Mhm.
Where would the guy come? Where do you prefer him to come? Like inside you, on
Would
your
it come to
face?
you,
Like what's
Joel?
off? Yeah, like what's off limits? What's because this is fascinating because like,
Mm.
do you consider like a facial like not in your wheelhouse because you're dominant, or is there a way to do it where it doesn't have to be demeaning? Is
Mhm.
it like a tit cum shot? What are we looking at?
For me, I'm a cream pie girly. I have
Okay.
been cream pie for like 8 years. Like if you aren't coming inside of me, what's going on here? Like, do you like me
Okay.
at all at that point? You know,
Yeah.
I love a cream pie, but I also love a cream pie because like, I don't know. I'm just a little bit of a pervert, the gooner in me. Like when I first discovered porn and stuff, almost every time. And I'll send that to, you know, my subs too. Like that. But it's, and you know, I'll do a couple facials here and there, but depending, I got designated cum rags around here somewhere, but it can be tough, you know. And with the cleanup, it's like there's no evidence, so it's all inside of me, you know. If you're wanting something a little bit more sneaky, but I just love a cream pie. I would like to do more doggy. A lot of people, they're like, we want to see you do doggy, but with the anatomy of myself and the person that I'm currently fucking, it's just, you can't force certain sex positions. And I know it would look great, guys, I'm sorry, but you know, I look better riding, and you're gonna love it because you have to. So cream pies.
Well, yeah, and I think you know, all of this is how you see it, the perception, right? And for you being, you know, in the more dominant space, like you can make a cream pie make sense, right? Because you want that from them inside you, right? And also, I think it's amazing that you are like, yeah, I'll do a facial now and then or whatever, you know, in your own way. And it's still kind of a horny, hot thing, turns you on, or if you're in the mood for it, whatever. I love that you're open to that, and you can make it your kind of your kind of vibe, your kind of mode, however you like it. So will you say like in a back and forth with somebody who's on OnlyFans or on Sex Panther or whatever it is, will you allow them to quote unquote like come inside you? Like, is that a thing?
If it's like a sub or more like a mutual, if it's sub, I can absolutely go that route. It can be the way of like, I love gooner cock as well. Gooner cock, you've been pent up for hours. Like months. That's like some of the best dick. It's too forceful of a way, but like you are not allowed to finish anywhere else, like lock the legs around, you know. I'll do a voice note giving all the details about it, and you know, even saying like and you're like,
you fucked up.
You're gonna fill it to the brim until you're, you know, deflated on the bed, you know, sort of deal. So yeah, there's so many different ways. I mean, and even, you know, you could go the route of like home wrecking with it too. You can do home wrecking and femdom at the same time. That's one of the things that I also do, where it's like that you're going to forget about her, or you're not going to be able to have sex with her because you're going to be empty. So, you know, there's so many different ways to go about it.
Yeah. Well, and the one that's coming to mind now is like, from a dominant space, it's like, no, you owe me that kind of a thing. Like, that's mine. Yeah.
Yeah, come tribute. Absolutely. Because if I want you to ruin it, I'm going to have you ruin it. If I want you to give yourself a facial, you're going to do that. But either way, I own your dick, I own your cum, I own your brain. And with some people, I own their wallet. So it's all mine. It's all for me.
That one's definitely getting clear. We're definitely going to clip that one. Okay. So here at the end, I'm wondering, and I'll buy you some time to think. And I ask this question every episode. Well, not every episode, but I don't know, some episodes.
The special ones.
What would you say is the one or two, like, and again, we don't kink shame. We love all kink here. As, you know, stay legal, stay consensual, guys. But with that in mind, what is maybe the one or two wildest, most bonkers requests that you've had or stories that you've had around requests?
Now, these ones are probably like definitely some of them not allowed for sure, and I turn them down. But I actually surprisingly get a lot of people who want me to tell them to like themselves. Like I get that
Really?
a lot. And I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to get in with the legalities of it. That's why I stopped doing blackmail, is because I'm like, there's too much legalities and I'm just like not interested in that. If I wanted to be working for a law firm, I would be doing that. I almost did. But you know, I'm just also not that type. Like I will be cruel to you in so many ways, but you don't have to go that route of being like, you know, yeah, okay, be gone.
Pretty extreme
sort of deal. Yeah. I think another like crazy request, there's some very interesting ones for sure. Oh, I'm trying to think of another one. There's so many good ones. There's like people who want me to impersonate celebrities. I know a couple of girls on Streammate get asked to impersonate Kim Kardashian and like do the like nasally voice. I wasn't good at it. He didn't come back. I get a lot of nail fetishes as well as like scratching pillows. My nails are kind of short right now, but they're natural and they grow really, really long. So nail fetishes hit me up. I get a lot of people who are just, you know, like wanting me to full take over their life as well. And that's one thing that I feel like some people might find weird. For me, it's a hard question because so many things are normal to me now, you know, and I've seen the craziest of the craziest. But I have people where I've just like set up their entire, like, you're only allowed to eat this, you work out this time, you're doing this, you're, you know, take time to spend with your friends this time. So that can be kind of intense. But yeah, I think that first one is probably the most crazy one. I think one of the most, I do have a disturbing, consistent show. And I do think that so many more girls who are girlfriends of these guys, now, not to like be calling out these guys for it, but who are girlfriends of these guys should be aware of, is they will get on a show, like you can just call some girls like on stream and Sex Panther and stuff like that, and they will be like jerking it on the bed, and then they'll immediately pan the camera to their girlfriend's sleeping face. That's one I don't fuck with. So I'm like, world, listen, like think about who you're with, because that's one thing that's like non-consensual and I'm not a fan of it. And it's just like so disrespectful. And I'm start yelling at the camera too. I'm like, wake up, you're in danger. But you know, there's so many different requests. All of them are kind of really normal to me, but those are kind of the most intense ones that I'm some of them not fucking with. So those are,
no, we'll take it. So okay, final question. Do you see yourself transitioning ever into like mainstream porn in any way at all? I know you probably get asked this a ton, but you know, at the end, I think it's fun to leave it on what could be coming, what's not, you know, whatever, however you want to.
It's been a recent thought, but for me, if there was a group of girls or like different girls that I can find that are into gooning, JOI, role plays, femdom stuff, I would get more into that. But when it comes to more mainstream porn, I'm very specific with who I fuck. So, you know, I'm very much about like, I'm someone who really loves personality, and I can't get to know your personality for the most part in like 5 hours before, you know, flying out there and stuff like that. So probably not like the mainstream, really like slutty stuff. I'll leave that to the pros and that side. But for me, I think the things that people could be looking forward to is I have a green screen now, and I'm planning on making a lot more role plays and, you know, renting out different spaces and making a lot more cyber goon things, which I think could be really fun, body doubles of myself, and you know, just more fun things. I try to make things that haven't been seen. It can be really hard because everything's made by AI now. You know, you can get whatever you want, but you know, there's only one me and only one of my personalities. So I just want to make it more special for my people. I want them to have fresh content all the time. So that's what people can look forward to. You know.
Well, we love it. Saige Kiljoy, thank you so much for being with me on Sex Party. Let's tell these horny gooner, maybe they're not gooner, maybe they want to just check you out, whatever. Let's tell them where they can find you on socials, but more importantly, let's tell them where they can find you at all the other places, and just like dump out like a briefcase or two like full of cash all over you.
Yes, all the money. Just fill up a house, a mansion for me. Give me the keys. That'll be perfect. No, but you can find me on. I've so many. I've had to change my name so many times. Instagram, stop banning me.
For real.
You can find me at the Saige Kiljoy on Instagram. You can find me at Saige Kiljoy on OnlyFans. If you don't want to talk to me and you just want to get out to my stuff, Kiljoy Collection, 1L in Kiljoy, K for Collection. You can check that out. It's also linked to my Saige Kiljoy. You can find me on I Want Clips under Saige Kiljoy, Sex Panther under Saige Kiljoy. I'm not going to respond to you on Instagram, and I'm not going to respond to you on Twitter. Don't even try, because I don't look. But I'm so excited to have all my new horny little creatures join my cult. It's gonna be perfect. And it was so nice talking to you. He's great. Talk to him more, people. Like his stuff. Follow him on everything.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. And I will probably see you. I believe I heard from someone that you're going to be at one of these shows. I'm not going to say which one unless you want to, but I know you're going to be at something I'm going to be at. So we'll have to do a little interview with our mutual friend, maybe. Yeah. But it's been amazing having you on the show. I'd love to have you back, so we'll have to set that up. But until then,
I have so many more things to talk about.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get to your origin story, which is fucking great if we can get through a first episode without an origin
and next
story.
time we'll probably talk about when I tried to stream on Kick and I had someone bring in thousands of people to my room and terrorize me.
Oh my god.
That'll be a fun one.
Yeah, we'll get you back for a part 2 pronto. Yeah,
sweet. Awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you
for sure. Talk soon. Huge thank you to my guest this week, Saige Kiljoy, for being with me on the show. Make sure you go check her out on everything social media, right? But more importantly, take some of your hard-earned cash, go to her OnlyFans or one of her other platforms, spend some money, enjoy yourself. If you're into what she's doing, awesome. If you're not and you're curious, go drop a couple bucks, see what it feels like, enjoy it. Isn't that the point of life? To enjoy all these things. Saige will be back in the future. We're going to collab on some stuff. We definitely want to have her back for another full episode. Tons of stuff I did not get to ask her that I will ask her when we have her back. So look forward to that. If you're loving guests like Saige, and more importantly, if you're loving all the guests, if you're still on board with all my crazy nonsense, right? How can you show that love and also a desire to never miss a new episode every single Wednesday? Well, if you're listening to this on platforms like Apple and Spotify, you could leave a rating, you could leave a review. Those things mean a fucking ton to me, right? But more importantly, my feelings aside, what you want to do, what you want to make sure you absolutely do, subscribe to the show so you never miss a new episode every single Wednesday, especially if you're subscribed or you think you're subscribed on Apple Podcasts. They've been unsubscribing people to certain shows for some reason. So go to Apple Podcasts, go to Sex Party with Dustin Rybka. In the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see a button. If it looks like a pause button, that means your subscription is paused. Click the button, toggle on down to resume subscription, resume downloads, whatever. Boom, you're resubscribed. If you're watching on YouTube, I love you. I see you. I appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube, have you enjoyed Saige Kiljoy's content? Will you be going over to enjoy it? Let me know in the comments. Remember, YouTube is a place where censorship is running rampant. And so maybe use emojis, get creative. If you're watching on YouTube, you want to show some love, some hate, some desire, some rage, some confusion towards the show, and you also never want to miss a new episode, what can you do? You could like this video. You could dislike this video. You could do that to all the videos. You could leave a comment on this video, leave a comment on all the videos. Positive or negative, we will go back and forth. We'll have an exchange. We'll have a conversation. We'll chat with each other. It will be great. But most importantly, you want to make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new episode every single Wednesday. I am available in the DMs, and I will see you all right back here next week.
Thanks for listening. The party continues next week. Click subscribe and let's make this a regular thing. Follow the show on Instagram and Twitter at SexPartyFM. Follow Dustin at Dustin Rybka.